What's up, guys? We're back here in Archeworld, and I get this question now. What are you doing with all these recent changes, and how you talked about that the game is kind of punishing the land barons and doesn't want people to have multiple houses? Well, this has always kind of been the case, right? So I'm not going to say I saw this coming or that we had insider information, because no one has insider information. They don't give us any extra details for being a supporter or anything like that. So let's just talk about what I'm doing with all my houses that I have in the world. So you'll notice that most of them are actually in one zone, right? And I started to collect houses in one zone because of Hereafter Stone cost. Even before this changed, Hereafter Stone cost was still expensive. 0.75 silver for a stone, it adds up. So someone calculated that to be about 0.08 BSLT. So that eats into any of your profits when you're teleporting like crazy every single day. And if you have, 50 houses, that's 100-ish teleport stones per day, a little bit more depending on if you're doing cross server. So I decided about a couple months into playing the game that I do want to focus on a specific region and get most of my land in this region. And you can see they're mostly in this over here, Torch Bay area, a couple over here, but still it's all walking, running distance to each other. So it only cost one Hereafter Stone to do all of these houses, which in the long run, when you think about playing this game for 5 years, that's going to save you a lot of money, a lot of time and money. So that is something that I did beforehand. And then when they started to do more and more of these changes, we started to abandon houses that are kind of on their own and put them up for rent. So like over here, this one we just have one house, and that one is just up for rent, right? So some of these houses, some of these lands are just for rent, and I don't bother to go do them, right? Mainly that's kind of like in the small and the medium ones, because the small and the medium ones actually do rent pretty well, right? The small one is still renting for around 100 to 120 BSLT. The medium ones, the rent has gone way down, and it's around like 180, 190 BSLT, but it's still not terrible. Another big factor of how I'm managing all this stuff is I own all the land, so it doesn't affect me that much. I never have to pay rent again because I own all these NFTs. So if you are an owner, you don't pay rent. Like, your profits just go down a little bit, but you own the land. So this is why I've always stressed to people that you want to buy the NFTs and own the NFTs so that you don't have to pay the rent. If you're paying the rent monthly, that's going to add up, and eventually get to the point where either you don't make enough money or you're like, screw this, it's not worth my time and effort to do this, I'm not going to do it anymore. And they have now changed the system significantly where it made it harder to profit, right? But let's answer that question. Is it really harder to profit? The answer is no. The answer is not harder to profit. It takes more investment now, because you can make more profit this month than you did last month. Last month, the stars were the only way to really get profit, and then they gutted those, got rid of those, and you really couldn't make profit because Red Archeum was selling for 35 BSLT for a 10,000 bundle. The Archium shards were like 18 BSLT. The labor was like 4 BSLT. Like, you just couldn't make much profit off of this stuff. So when they did change it to the blue Archium, the profits actually went up. And we'll talk about why. So you buy 10,000 Archium here for, we'll say 20 BSLT, right? So that's the current price on the North America profit server. You now go ahead and convert that into the red Archium, which if you go ahead and sell the red Archium, it's at around 40 BSLT right now. You're not going to make much money, if anything, because of the labor cost. So we look at labor. To make 10,000, you spend approximately 4 labor potions, so you spend approximately 10 BSLT. So that means it's going to cost you 30 BSLT to make red Archium, which is going to sell for 40 BSLT. When you take out the auction house fee of 10%, you're down to 36, which means you made a profit of 6 BSLT for doing all that work. Not really a great profit, right? And that's how it's been for a while since red Archium went down to next to nothing. And that happened because they took out the blue salt stars. People weren't playing the game, progressing their characters, and using the red Archium enough. So enters blue Archium. Blue Archium, the new system that came into place, is essentially free to make. It just takes time. So blue Archium comes out of the Lumia system. You do need a boat and a Lumia. The Lumias they gave out for a little bit of red Archium, and then the boats you had to craft. But once you get your boat, it's a one-time fee, just like owning the NFTs. Once you get your boat, you never have to pay for the boat again. Now, you do feed it, but this is turning that red Archium. So you're taking that 10,000 red Archium that you had, you're putting it into your house, and you're converting it at a 50% ratio. Roughly, you're going to get 5,000 blue Archium for every 10,000 red Archium that you put in here. It doesn't matter whether it's a basic boat or basic Lumina. All the ratios are about the same. It does get a little bit better as you go higher up, but it's still about 50%, right? So as you're doing this, you're converting red into blue. And we talk about this. The blue is significantly more value. It doesn't cost anything else. So there's a small amount of labor. There's 50 labor points to convert 10,000 into this essence. But other than that, it's simply time. And then on top of converting it into blue Archium, you also have the chance to get these bonus drops. And these bonus drops are where you're starting to make an insane amount of money off of houses, and why this is actually worth it. And why you'll notice that I have, 20 boats now, because they are all generating profit with the Luminous system, and it's simply time. And also with the Arc Life system that they added, so the staking system, Arc Life, it allows me to open up the Lumia tab, and I don't have to even go to the physical houses, and I can just do the Luminas from this management system. That saves me time, which makes this all so easy. It does suck that the timers on the Luminas are at like 6 hours, but you can adjust them to whatever you want. You can make them 3 hours and 30 minutes. You can make them 5 hours and 30 minutes, etc., right? And if you get some better Luminas, they can go up higher. So with the Arc Life, we get +2, so it means we can make them at 7-hour timers. So if you're trying to play optimal and perfect on everything, good luck about that, man. You're gonna be logged in 24/7. But there's a lot of systems in place to help with this. So Luminas make money. So here, we'll take a look. So you turn 10,000 red Archium. Turn this 10,000. So 20 BSLT. You turn it into this 5,000 blue Archium. So at current price, and it's still trending down right now, but it's okay, right? So you turn 20 BSLT into 60 BSLT. It takes 10 BSLT in labor. So your total cost is 30 BSLT to make this. And all it takes is time after that. You're just sitting in on these dispatches, you're sending them out, collecting things. So you're turning 30 into a 60. And then if you sell it, you're minus 10%, you're at 54. But there's also the blue salt stars, which are a better return. So you go ahead, sell the blue salt stars, get that BSLT. So that is great, but on top of that, so you turn 30 BSLT into roughly 60 BSLT, great profit, it takes just time, right? You had to buy your boat, but once you get your boat up and running, it doesn't cost anything. And if you really look at the return on investment, like, oh man, I gotta buy blue Shadowgun crystals, right? I gotta buy 20 of these or 50 of these, right? You're gonna get that money back really, really quick. I think my calculations were about 10 days. So 10 return on investment. Like, it was really quick. So once I started calculating these things and realizing it's like, okay, let's spend all our BSLT, because now you can see we have literally no BSLT. We have 124 BSLT. And if you watch some of the older videos, like a month ago, we'd have 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 BSLT. But when this update happened, we needed to invest that BSLT back into these crystals to making the boats. So then we could start generating more profits on the house. So the one-time fee of the crystals was not a big deal. It did hurt right up front, but in the long run, you're going to be making more and more and more. And then on top of that, these extra items that we get are really good. So there's a 20% chance to get loot, bonus loot, right? So ship blueprints. You can get one of these. This is around 4 BSLT. It varies greatly. I've sold some at like 7 BSLT. Look at this chart. Like, just the price is just going up and up and up. There's also a rare ship blueprint, which you're familiar with probably, which sells for around 7 or so BSLT. Yep, 7, 8. And this is dramatically decreased. So earlier on, this was selling for 30 BSLT, 25 BSLT. Like, these were very, very expensive and very profitable. And this is just a bonus item that you get. So let's take a look here. See here, we got bonus items. This is debris. You think, oh, it's nothing, it's garbage. But it's gold. It's 3 gold right there. And so I can either vendor that gold and get gold, which gold was very hard to come by before, because when you were a merchant player, you were running out of gold. You were selling things like crazy, and gold was just, you were empty. You were just gone, right? You were also buying hereafter stones beforehand. Now you could only buy 10, but, you know, you're getting more gold, so it's kind of working out in that. But if you want to, let's see here. Why is that gray? This is interesting. So everything is gray over here. Let's go put this debris. Yeah, so it's not letting me click anything right now. So some kind of weird glitch, but let's go debris. So we type in debris, and you can see you can go ahead and sell these items for more BSLT. And these are the things that you typically get. You typically get like 2 or 3 or 4 of these guys. And so like over time they add up, and we can sell these for a couple BSLT here or there. And that's great. That's just free money that you get. So on top of turning the basic Archium into 30, you spend 30 BSLT at the current prices with shards at 20. And you're like, shards are so expensive. They're damn expensive. They're 20. But with the labor and everything, it costs 30. You turn it into 60. That's a pretty good return right there. And on top of that now, they added dungeons. And you'll be like, what are these? I've never seen these before. Well, this is something that people don't realize. They've added these fixes in-game to help you use less hereafter stones. So these are dungeon portals that you get from the Blue Salt shop if you have Arc Life. You see over here, Arc Life has added a whole bunch of new items. This is an instant teleport thing to the dungeons. Well, it doesn't teleport you, but it lets you go into the dungeon. So you put these down. It costs 100 red Archium, and now you have them for a week. To activate, it costs 5 labor. You activate it for 5, and it opens up a portal which allows you to enter the dungeon and reset the dungeon. So you can go in here. You can do your dungeons. You don't have to teleport. You do not have to teleport at all to these dungeons. So you save yourself a lot of money, and these are weekly. So these last for 7 days. When you activate it, the portal lasts for 30 minutes. I don't know if other people can use your portals as well, but it's something you can test out with friends and stuff, right? So maybe one person needs to do this, and then all their friends can do the portals. But those are those portals that they gave us in the sneak peek, right? Those were what new item was here. Another thing that people don't know about, they have these Hereafter Stone books. So for 100 red Archium, you can get a book that changes your portal, makes it look cooler. This one doesn't look that cool, the Cherry Blossom, The flaming one looks pretty cool, but we don't have that. We don't have staking a level 3. But anyone can get this. At staking level 1, you get the recruitment board. This also, once again, saves hereafter stones. This is a very, 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 very powerful item. This allows you to go into the arena, into dungeons or instances. All right, let's see if our inventory works. So for some reason, our inventory is glitched. How do we fix this? Let's go ahead and select character. But yeah, so this will allow you to import into dungeons, arenas, not dungeons. Why do I keep saying that? This will allow you to import into arenas, and then also things like Kadum and stuff like that. Again, you don't need to teleport. Same thing, just like the other ones. It's a 7-day item for 100 red Archium. You do need to have Arc Life level 1 to access this, but that's only staking, I believe, 1,000. So it's a very small amount. Alright, so works. Now we're going to have to wait 30 seconds. Right, so read the description here. Install this and complete at your house. Install inner floor yard can be placed on large furniture. Demolish the building with this item still installed. Will destroy the item. Check result notices. So there are little ways to use less hereafter stones. You don't need that many hereafter stones, right? So same thing, this thing costs 5 labor to activate. You activate the board, and now you'll see we got all the raid notices here. So this was going to allow us to do dungeons, but they grayed that one out so they could have their own little dungeon portals, I guess. So we have Kadum. So when Kadum fires up, we can enter Kadum right here. We have Skyfin. When Skyfin goes up here, and then we also have Arena. So when Arena comes up, we go here. So we do not need to go to those locations anymore. So this is a great way to save money. It works out, right? 100 red Archium is significantly cheaper than spending 7 hereafter stones teleporting. Another thing that is very, very important, and something we've talked about before, is setting your recall location to a portal spot. You don't want to spend 3 hereafter stones teleporting right and left, because when you cross the ocean with the hereafter stones, you spend 3 of them. You don't want to do that. So what I do, and I've told a lot of people to do this, is set your teleport portal over into Sandeep over here, because there is a red gate. That red gate will teleport you all the way over to the other continent completely for free over into Rockborn. It teleports you right here. So you can go back and forth to each continent for free through that red gate. And then also, being this race, we have the teleport reset. Portal Mastery. This is one of the reasons why I always pick the east side, is because of the Portal Mastery ability. Oh. They've always had better PvE skills. So for Archeworld, it resets your portal. So we can go ahead and portal. This will then have a 30-minute cooldown. And then we can click on that and it will reset it. So that's a little, in my opinion, an unfair advantage that the East Harani characters have. But, you know, it is what it is. Everyone has a slightly passive, active ability that they can use. I don't even know what the other races have, honestly. Like, when I saw that they had portal manipulation, I was like, yep, done. So here's the red gates. And this is also why you notice if you're in this area, you'll see a lot of people. Because if anyone wants to go to the other continent, they can put a portal over completely for free. And then now you teleport on this side. So say we want to go back to our houses. It's only going to cost us 1 hereafter stone. So those are things that I've been doing, and will continue to do in the future. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you got any questions or comments, let me know down below. Love to hear from you guys. Good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.